My name is Guy Lundy and I'm from Cape Town. I have lived here most of my life. How things started for me was that after having spent 4 years in the United Kingdom, I came back to Cape Town, and I found it very frustrating that a lot of people were asking me, and this was back in 2000, when many South Africans were going in the opposite direction because they weren't sure of what the future held here. A lot of people would ask me, why have you come back? Why have you brought your French wife, who I met while I was living in London, back to South Africa rather than going somewhere safer and somewhere with more opportunity than here? And what I found most bizarre about that was that our office that I worked out of at the time had a view very much like the one that we've got behind me right now. And so to me it seemed perfectly obvious why I would want to come back here. And so what I did was, out of that frustration, I wrote a speech which I gave to a Toastmasters group called I Pledge Allegiance. And I based it on the American Pledge of Allegiance, which I'd experienced when I'd lived in the US, and changed it to a South African Pledge of Allegiance. And I built the speech around what we have here in South Africa to be positive about, and the fact that we actually do have a future going forward. And the audience loved the sentiments in the speech and asked for copies of it, and they then sent it out to friends of theirs. They sent it via email mostly, and it ended up going all over the world. South Africans in various places around the world were getting hold of me, from Germany, from Hong Kong, from Australia, to say thank you so much for saying what has always been on our minds but we've just never actually got around to saying. And that is that South Africa does have a future, and we can make it as positive as we want it to be. And so with that momentum, I ended up getting onto radio, onto TV, into the newspapers, etc., and decided to take it further, and have ended up writing 2 books. One about what South Africa has achieved and what South Africa has, and the second one about what the future holds for South Africa, particularly what the future can be and what we need to do in order to make that future as bright as possible.